Today I'm going to be sharing why and how I keep a food and health journal. I would like to say, okay, I'm getting tongue twisted already. I would like to point out that I will have a blog post that goes along with this video, and I will link that below. So to get started, I would like to share a little bit about me, some background as to how I got to this point with the food and health journal situation. I've never really had problems with digestive issues, food allergies, anything like that. I have only one food allergy, that's to eggplant. And I have had other problems though. I've had anxiety that has it started in my 20s, and it wasn't too bad for many years. Then a few years ago, 2010, they started getting really bad, and they got progressively worse for a while. At this point, they're still pretty bad. Not quite as frequent, knock on wood, but still just out of control, just not where it should be at all. The other thing that I've had all my life is bone and muscle problems. I've had these issues since I was a baby, and growing up and through my 20s, 30s, even early 40s, I didn't really have, I had problems, and sometimes very severe ones, but it wasn't a constant, everyday, 365 days a year kind of thing. The last few years, it has been. These issues have been significantly lowering my quality of life, what I can do, and what I can get accomplished. I haven't been able to work. So as you can see, it's really affecting my quality of life. I've also, the last couple years, I'm starting to have more digestive issues. I don't know if they, are stress related or if it's related to what I'm eating. So for the most part, I've always tried to eat a very balanced and healthy diet. I can't always buy organics. I try to do as best I can. I'm on a very strict budget. So I do, I look at the sales, I see what's on sale, and as far as organics and the healthier foods, and I try to buy those, and that changes, each month. But like I said, I just try to really eat balanced and healthy. We don't really eat out or eat fast food. It's not in the budget anyway, and it's just not something we would do regardless. It's very infrequent. I would say that it averages out to no more than once a month, which is pretty good, I would say. Now, like I said, the last few years have gotten progressively worse, both with my ailments and digestive issues and things like that. And I started doing a lot of research. I know that food and what you put in your body, even the body cream that you use on your skin, can affect your health. I always thought I was doing pretty good because I would avoid dyes and different things like that. Like I said, we do as much organic as possible, and so I thought that I was doing everything I could, and those things really weren't affecting any of my problems or issues. And like I said, I started doing more research on it, and I started realizing that maybe what I was eating and doing wasn't enough. Maybe I had to take it a step further. So about a year ago, a little over a year ago, first of all, I went caffeine free. I had been drinking the half cap since my mid-20s, and avoiding full caffeine drinks 100%. But like I said, I really liked coffee, and I did have the half calf. And I had Splenda in my coffee. I was starting to do research on that and realized that that's really no better than the other artificial sweeteners. So I gave that up 100%, went to decaf, 100% decaf, and I also cut out pretty much all processed foods. We really weren't big on processed foods, but I did buy like the boxed macaroni and cheese on occasion, the side dishes in a package, the rice and the noodle dishes in a package, or potato dishes that you can just mix up and eat. And I stopped those. I would only buy the bulk rice, the noodles in the package that I just boiled myself, and if we wanted added flavors, I added my own vegetables, my own flavors, so I knew exactly what was going in them. And I started all these changes about a year ago. Well, I would see some changes, some improvements, and then I would also have days and several days in a row where I just wanted to throw my hands up, throw in the towel, and say, you know what, I'm just going to eat whatever I want because none of this is doing me any good. And it got frustrating. So I realized that, though, to give it a fair shot and to really see what was going on, I needed to keep track of what I was doing. And I don't know why this didn't dawn on me sooner. I really don't. I have been doing the Food and Health Journal for a month now, a month and a half actually. And like I said, I don't know why it didn't dawn on me sooner. I had kept food journals in the past, but those were only at times that I was on actual diets for weight loss. And my experiences with those could be a whole nother video. I won't get into it here, but those were the times that I would keep food journals. But those were just strictly what I ate and what I drank and when. That was it. The Food and Health Journal I'm keeping now is much more complete and has much more detail in it. And I'm not doing anything fancy. I hope you can see this. I hope I'm showing it properly. It's just a regular old notebook. I put this on here just to cover the dark so I could see, because the marker wasn't going to show on the dark cover. But I put Food and Health Journal, my starting date of Friday, June 27th, 2014. And because I go into such detail, I'm not going to show you a whole, what I'm writing, because like I said, I keep a lot of information, but I do one day, one whole page, front and back. And I'll show you a blank page and I'll outline what I do. This will be tomorrow's. I put the date at the top. I put the weather up here. I find that for me anyway, the weather affects me a lot, especially the heat. It's just not good for me at all. Today in Michigan it's extremely warm, and I can tell it is affecting me today. So I do track the weather, and then what I'll do in the morning is put the time that I got up and how I slept, then what I eat, and then I will just continue as it happens. I will write it so that I keep it's in chronological order that way. And I do write the specific time that I get up in the morning. I also write the specific time that I eat dinner and the specific time that I go to bed. Those are the 3 actual times that I keep track of. Other than that, I just keep it in order so I know that this happened first and this happened before that or after that or whatever. I do keep track of how I'm feeling, you know, if any of my ailments are acting up or if they're not. If I'm having a really good day all around, or with something that's just not, you know, not bothering me that day, I make sure that I write that down too. It's important because you can see what may have caused you to have a good day, and that's what you're shooting for, is to have more good days. So you want to know what could be causing the good days just as much as what will trigger a bad day. And then also what I do is I go one step further. Again, I hope you can see this. I was not blocking off. But I have 6 categories that I keep track of, and each day I go through and assign them a number 1 to 10 based on how I was feeling in those. So, for instance, fatigue. Tomorrow morning, I'll do it for today's, and I'll assign 1 to 10. 1 if I was just feeling, you know, no need for a nap. I got up fine this morning. Went to bed feeling, you know, I wasn't extra tired, and I didn't have insomnia. I would base it between 1 and 10. 1 being the best, 10 being the worst. And I do that for anxiety, ears. I have some terrible things going on with my ears, so I track it. Digestive, aches and pains, and then general other. General other is just an overall view of the day. And then just if there's anything else in general. So I keep track of those. Now, you might say, well, I don't really want to go in that much detail. That's fine, but there are 3 things that I would definitely make sure you do. You want to make sure that you keep track of the food and drink that you eat and when. You don't have to put exact times at all, but make sure that you put, you know, this was in the morning, afternoon, evening, just something like that. You want to put how much sleep you got, because that's extremely important. And you also want to put just generally how you're feeling. Depending on your own situation, if you're just having digestive issues, you want to put what you may have felt that day, or, you know, that's what you want to concentrate on. If you want to put your symptoms and your ailments, how they're affecting your day, good or bad, you want to keep track of those things. So that's the 3 things you definitely want to do. Now, you can get into more detail. You can do more detail on some days and then not on others. That's up to you. But it's really good to have. Not only is it good for your own personal, to go back, you know, and reference and see what's going on, but if you see your doctor or if you see a nutritionist, it may also be a very good tool for them to help you figure out what's going on, or how things are affecting, you know, how what you're doing is affecting your everyday life. Now, I've only been doing this, like I said, for a month and a half. I would say, to give it a fair shot, you definitely want to keep one for at least 6 months. You know, there's just day-to-day life has its issues, stresses, you know, regardless, if you have no problems at all, there's going to be some days you don't feel as well as others. So, to really get overall fair look at what's going on, you do need to give it 6 months. Now, with that said, just in the month and a half that I've been doing mine, I have started to notice a couple trends, and one of those is gluten sensitivity. Now, I know these days everyone thinks they're, celiac. Everyone's thinking, oh, I'm gluten sensitive. But I do believe in health and in food sensitivities. It doesn't mean that you're 100% allergic to something. It doesn't mean, like in the case of gluten, that you are celiac. That's a much more severe issue. But I do believe that you can have a food sensitivity, and that it can affect your everyday life. And it can bring on symptoms that, you may be thinking, why am I getting this? And that's why. It's because of something that you're eating, drinking, or even putting on your body. And so, you may want to kind of track that also. But, and I had, just to back up a second, before I really started making all these changes and doing the Food and Health Journal, I had started to do a lot of online research and reading a few books, and I really, it really is a major thing right now. And in my opinion, I think it's just because, and this is not to go off too much on a tangent on another subject, but I think a lot of it has to do with all the processed foods out there, and how things are grown these days, the pesticides that are used and things like that. And I think it's just starting to show its effects. A lot of things have changed in the last 40 years, 30, 40 years. Things just got progressively, they were just looking for shortcuts. They were looking for ways to produce more vegetables, produce more foods, produce them cheaper. And I think all these shortcuts and different things that they've done over the last 30, 40 years are starting to show the negative effects it's had on some people. And I say some people because I think some people are more sensitive than others. So if you're talking to someone that's never really been affected, they're gonna, look at you like you're crazy. Well, you're not crazy. But anyway, before I get off on it, or keep talking about that, get back on track here. It's important. It would be, I think it's important to keep a health and food journal. Keep track of what you're doing, how you're feeling. And like I said, you can go into as much detail or or just keep it simple. But yeah, I think it's a really good tool to have, both for yourself and for your health practitioners. So, with that said, I hope that I didn't ramble, and I hope that I hit on the most important points of this. If there's anything that you want to know that I didn't cover, or if you would like to share your own personal experiences, I would love to read about it. Just put all that in the comments. And good luck on your own journey. If you're trying to figure something out, keep a health food journal. It's going to be an excellent tool. Have a great day. Bye-bye.